Man, it is so steep that I couldn't even see the Armada in front of us. Wow. 17, 18, 20 degrees, 22, 20, yeah, 22 degrees, 23. Just have to take my word that it's steep. What's going on, guys? So we find ourselves in Scottsdale, Arizona. This is going to be a really cool day. I was invited out here by the folks over at Nissan to do an off-road evaluation of the new Nissan Armada Pro4x. Now, you may recall that I was in Tennessee not too long ago doing kind of the initial media ride and driving around these vehicles over different types of terrain, but the roads had gotten flooded out because of some major rainfall that they had, and they really wanted us to get a great idea of how these vehicles perform in a true off-road environment. So they have us out here in Arizona, right outside of Phoenix, and we are going to be really putting these things to the test. So I hope you enjoy these videos. One of the real great reasons to look at these vehicles is because of their capabilities, some of the things that they can do. Now, I know when you look at Armadas, you're typically thinking of a family hauler, something that can haul a lot of people in it, which they absolutely can, but then you may not realize how off-road capable these things have become and the technology that they've baked into it. Real quickly, showing you a little bit around the dash of this vehicle. This is a beautiful, beautiful vehicle. They absolutely changed this thing from the ground up. It's built on the Nissan Patrol chassis now. This is a really, really capable off-road vehicle with tons of technology, tons of capability, and it's finally the type of vehicle that I think a lot of people would put on their radar if they're looking for a third row full-size SUV. So we're gonna hit the road and see what this thing's all about.
But to give you a quick overview, as Brian mentioned, when we started Pro4x, it was really about capability, not just design or looks or aesthetics, but about actual true capability. So we launched it. When we launched it, there was a couple elements that we've quite honestly probably not done a good enough job communicating of what Pro4x means. And it started out with skid plates, metal skid plates, radiator, fuel tank, transfer case, all-terrain tires, branded suspension. Bilstein, we've used Rancho in the past. On the Armada, we have the air suspension. Electronic locking differential, hill descent control, hill start assist, all those things that were really true capable features that have been throughout Pro4x history. And then in 2020, when we launched the Armada, the minor change for the Armada, we updated and added not only the content but actually the look, and we changed what the look and feel of Pro4x was. And so we've gone to what you see now on the Frontier, what you see on the Armada, so the black logo with the lava red accents, the lava red tow hooks, the black badging on the interior, you get those accents as well. And so now it's a combination of not just the performance aspect, which has been throughout this entire history, but also the look and aesthetic, the feel and the design, so that emotional, that connection that people have when they're off-roading, it carries through the vehicle. On the Armada, we've got dual 14-inch screens and a couple extra off-road cameras, like invisible hood, so you can literally see right through the hood and place the tires exactly where you want. Whether you're trying to hit a specific line or avoid an obstacle, you can do that, and you can actually spread it across both screens, so you can take full advantage of the dual 14-inch screens in high definition. This past weekend, actually had a Pro4x Armada out with my family, and we were off-roading, doing a little off-roading in our area, and they had a blast using the 3D around view monitor. So you really have a bird's eye view. Can you place yourself 360 degrees around the vehicle? But you can drive from it too. I recommend only in closed course and off-roading, that kind of thing. But the kids had a blast. They were all sitting in the back, and I was turning the camera view, and it was like you were a drone flying outside the vehicle, looking back at, and then we were just driving using that view, and you can see 360 degrees around the vehicle. a lot of fun. We also have an air suspension on the Armada. That's a Nissan first for us. When you automatically shift, if you go to your mud and rut or your rock setting, it'll go to 4 high 4-wheel drive, and it'll actually lift the vehicle up to its 4th level of air suspension. That gives you better body clearance, but it also gives you ground clearance. You've got 11.6 inches of ground clearance when you're in level 4, which is significantly better than anything else you're going to see in the segment. Same thing that we sell here is what we sell in the other countries as the Patrol. The branding and the name is obviously different. It's Armada here and Patrol there, but it's basically the same exact vehicles, except for what I typically say is like safety or regulatory that's required for the governments. It's the same vehicle, so we'll say 95-ish% of the vehicle is exactly the same.
Okay.
So that history, that heritage, that capability and feature set is there. But you'll actually see Easter eggs throughout the vehicle that speak to that history. So you'll see things that say since 1951 on the console, and the puddle lamps that shine down that says since 1951. That's speaking to our heritage building SUVs, specifically starting with the Patrol in 1951, but then with the Xterra and the Pathfinder, and obviously now with the Armada.
Okay, thank you.
Your one responsibility is the person behind you. So as we come to turns, don't take that turn until you see the person behind you see you making that turn, and we won't lose anyone. So that's your one responsibility, other than having fun and really exploring the capabilities of the vehicle. Anything else?
When we get, there's some really steep hill climbs and descents, and we'll get out and guide you. If we point wheel left or wheel right, it's very small increments. We get a lot of people that go real heavy, so real small increments, but we'll encourage you to get up. If you're fearful for anything, we don't want you to be scared to do it. We'll encourage you to do it, but if there's ever a point you're uncomfortable, we'll get you through it with the team. So just ask questions, and biggest things, have fun. You're going to be blown away. It's pretty aggressive terrain. So.
Okay, so you heard all that. This will be my Armada that I'll be taking out. I think I'm probably going to be almost in the lead. We got the Frontiers over here. We'll be doing a swap, but this should be a pretty fun course to handle, and it's going to be pretty intense according to what they're telling me, so let's find out. We're going to hit the road. Okay, so we're going to go into rock mode, drive. We should be ready to hit the road. So Matt, right?
Yes, Matt.
Okay, I have Matt with me. He's a product subject matter expert over at Nissan. How are you doing today?
We're very good. Excited to be out here in the off-road environment.
Yep, we may not have time to do the Frontier. Looks like there's a bunch of Jeep folks out here, which obviously means this is an insanely tough trail. Everyone's airing down, and they're all probably wondering why we're driving Armadas through here.
Yep.
They made a wrong purchasing decision, right?
Yeah, well, that's a good point. We opted not to air down because we really wanted to highlight that this vehicle could do this kind of terrain with minimal modifications from the driver's perspective. Just switch that switch like you did at the beginning to rock mode, and off we go.
Well, that made me feel good what I just saw, though, too, because it's like, man, this must be a pretty intense trail.
Up, everyone, we're on the National Forest, and it is open to the public, so we may come encounter with some Jeeps or side-by-sides or anything else coming our way. We will either pull off to the side or they'll pull off to the side. We'll make it around, but just a heads up that we are on open land.
So you're going to get some nice shots from that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, with the proliferation of side-by-sides, you can see some of this terrain has kind of been modified for their benefit or by them.
Yeah. So we got this really cool kind of see-through hood camera system here that lets you see through the hood. And the angles we're going at here are pretty extreme as well. And again, we're talking about a full-size family hauler. This is a third-row, full-size SUV that, I'm going to be honest with you, most of the time you're going to see these, you're going to see them in mall parking lots, you're going to see shopping centers. But the reality behind something like this is that it can do what we're doing. It's capable of doing it, and it's built to do it. That's pretty phenomenal.
Yep. Yeah, as you mentioned when we got here, you saw all those Jeeps who are coming out kind of just spend the day off-roading. We don't necessarily expect the consumer of this vehicle to do that, but we wanted to enable them to have adventures. You know, go camping, go to a cabin, go to places that are more difficult to get to without having to do any modifications to the vehicle.
And that's true. These are bone stock vehicles.
100%.
Are these the same Armadas that were at the media drive a few months ago?
I think they are literally the same vehicles.
Yeah. Before we got in the vehicles and you started talking about the legacy of the engine platforms that you have in place and that they're tried and true platforms, and you've gone to technology that's just arguably more reliable. I think some people's perception of Nissan of late is CVT transmissions and light duty, super budget friendly vehicles.
Yep.
And that's not the Armada. I hate to say that. That's not the Armada. That's not the Frontier.
We'll wait for them.
Sure. Okay. We're going to wait for them a little bit. And that's what I like is when you look at these vehicles, these are vehicles that were not necessarily designed for people who are looking for their first vehicle.
Correct.
Right. These are vehicles for families who they've had off-road SUVs. Yep. You want me to wait down here until they get to the top?
Yeah, we'll let them get around the bend. Okay. Mainly in case they have to roll back.
So that's a really nice thing to know, that especially on these vehicles, that the team that works on these is not the same team that works on the Rogue or the Altima.
Correct. Yeah. So the way our R&D is laid out is you have performance teams that may share products, but then you have product specific teams, which I represent now. Anytime we can roll up.
Sure.
So, and like you were mentioning, yes, there is maybe some memory of the CVTs or of some of these kind of the car-based or the CUVs, where Armada is 100% steel body on frame. It is conventional when you think about all of your off-road components, especially when you come to Pro4x. You've got your locking diff, your all-terrain tires and things like that. As we're doing this climb up this hill right now, you're hearing it's our active brake limited slip differential. So it actually uses the ABS system to grab the tire that's trying to spin to transfer torque to the other side. So you also have advanced technology on these at the same time.
Oh yeah.
So you can really do a lot and just makes the driving easier. So it's trying to reduce the fatigue on you. You don't have to manage it all. The car will help manage a lot for you.
Yep. And in areas like this camera sure comes in handy. I'm gonna stop real quick just so you can kind of see what I'm talking about. Even though I couldn't see over the hood, you're looking straight into the sky. The camera is giving you the ability to see what you want to see while you're on these trails, and that's incredibly helpful whenever we talk about what these are truly capable of. A lot of people don't realize that the angles that you may take in a vehicle like this are going to dictate your comfort and how well you feel you can crest that next hill or where you can turn. Because if you're blind going over a hill, you don't know if there's a drop off in front of you or if there's a hard left turn.
Right, and that specific hill was selected because you crested and you have to go left.
Yep.
And you don't know that, but like you mentioned, this invisible hood let you see that without even kind of thinking about it.
Absolutely.
So this is a pretty severe downhill event. I would recommend hill descent control just because it makes it easy, but you can also try it without, whichever you prefer. Low range will help, again, because it's going to keep your speed really low. But if you want to try it in 4 high, you totally can. So they're probably waiting for the previous truck to clear the event before the next one starts.
And to get into hill descent, we're just going to press that middle button right there, right?
Correct. For low,
we're
got
going to
your
switch
shifter
right
over here. Yep.
I'm going to tell you, this area right here is still a little confusing to me, only because I'm not used to that configuration of four-wheel drive and transmission controls.
Yeah, Nissan used to have, and the trucks still have, the rotating dial.
Yeah.
That would be roughly where the key button is or where the terrain settings are on this one. But as you mentioned, I think as an owner, you'd get used to it. It just takes a little time.
Yep.
We'll let him go pretty far.
Okay.
You can still line up. We just won't start the descent. And then we'll see if they're going to spot or what they're going to do. And we can kind of watch where that Frontier goes. Because he's going to go left and he may disappear. But when you go left, you got to go extreme left.
Okay.
Because there's a pretty big drop. I would almost guarantee they've got a spotter there. And then your hill descent went solid orange, which means it's active. So it's like downhill cruise control, but it's a little bit different in how it operates. It takes a little leap of faith at the beginning because you have to get off the brake and it'll grab that speed that you have, which is 2.5 miles an hour, and hold that. If you want a little more, you can roll into the throttle and it'll hold where you let off, basically, that speed.
So this is always one of those really interesting, like you said, it's kind of a trust test.
Yes.
Because your gut tells you the brake's going to release and you're going to go tumbling down.
Right.
But the vehicle is controlling the brake articulation right now, and it's keeping us going down steadily. If I level out the camera, it's really hard on camera to show how steep angles are.
You see it sort of in the meter, 10 degrees on the down right now.
And it's changing up, and apparently there's going to be a really sharp blind turn down at the bottom, so we'll see how that goes.
Yep. So it looks like most vehicles are staying to the right here, and then we'll kind of straddle the rut, and then there is a spotter there that we're going to go to the left of.
Again, it's kind of funny seeing all the Jeep guys airing their tires down.
Yep. Yeah, so the Tonto trail guy, he mentioned the big part of it, some of it's capability, but also he was just saying comfort. It'll allow the tires to eat the rocks more so than when they're at on-road pressures. But again, we're doing just fine with what we've got here. And so again, you have that massive advantage of your camera.
Was this the blind area you're talking about?
Yeah, where he's standing is a very big drop off.
Yeah.
And again, very sure-footed. The car's kind of doing a lot of the work for you.
Okay, so we're switching to neutral. We're going to throw it in 4 low as advised. We're also going to put on the rear locker. Should we put on a hill descent as well?
You only need it for down.
Okay.
That one doesn't do up yet.
I mean, I didn't know if it was going to come back down at the top.
Oh, no, I think we go flat for a little ways.
Okay, we are going up 13-degree incline, 14, 15, 16, 17. And this camera is coming in really handy. I'm going to stop on this hill if you don't mind real quick.
That's perfectly fine.
So you see we are on a 15-degree incline. This is what I see. That's my camera right there, not a tree. So this is what I see. And yeah, you don't see much, but look at this. I can still see completely around the vehicle, plus I can see everything that's in front of me. And that is a huge benefit of camera technology on these vehicles. With the camera mounted way up there on the windshield, though, yeah, you see what's going on, but that is definitely above my vantage point.
Armada 2, you're clear to go.
And then he's going to have us jog left a little, probably. Left is more exciting. Left will get you wheel lift.
Okay.
We will wait till he kind of crests up. There's wheel lift on the right. So we will want 4 low.
There he goes. Yeah, we're definitely going to go into 4 low.
Yeah, this is gonna show off the 4 low. This is gonna show off the active brake limited slip in some of it.
And locking rear diff especially.
Yep, we'll use the locker. You don't have to, but we will. And the cameras again, because you're not going to be able to see a lot of that, and you want to straddle some of those rock upcroppings. So whenever you want to, we're probably okay to at least line up. There's our 4 low.
I think, yeah, we're in 4 low.
You've got diff lock on, so yeah, then you're good to go.
A lot of information on the screen. Hey, if you have a screen, might as well
definitely use it.
Yeah. Now this is steep. Now, guys, I don't know how to explain this, but this is, boy, I can't explain it. It's just,
yeah. So
yeah, there we go. That's steep.
So you can kind of see there's a very almost abrupt face. We're going to try to straddle that face. So I think, yeah, you're lined up well now. And I think, yeah, straighten out, and we're going to climb from here. And we're just going to crawl up. We're going to hit that face now and just keep crawling. No problem at all. This transfers the torque to where we need it, and it's just like a mountain goat. Sure-footed and pretty confident.
Yeah, for real.
And you can hear the ABLS doing us a little favor. Yeah, definitely benefits that we pre-ran this, because that was an aggressive looking ascent that I don't know that I would have had the confidence. Basically any line will work.
Yeah.
You can pick what you want to do here.
I've been on a lot of off-road courses on media drives, and this is probably the most aggressive climb.
Yeah, we really wanted to show off what this thing could do. And so we were very happy to see some of these naturally occurring surfaces.